You're good enough. You're not going to fall apart today. I didn't believe any of them, not really, but I said them anyway. And here's the wild part. That day, everything changed. Not because I aced the interview or got the job of my dreams. I didn't. But because I finally realized you don't have to fully believe in yourself to begin. You just have to believe in the possibility of something more. Before we dive in, I want to thank you for being here. If this message moves you, or even just makes you pause and breathe a little deeper, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You never know who else might need to hear this too. It's a comforting illusion to think belief strikes like lightning, sudden, electric, undeniable. That one day, we'll wake up, stretch our arms, and feel this rush of certainty in our bones. Yes, I can do this, I'm ready, let's go. But in real life, belief almost never enters the room like that. It doesn't bang on the door or arrive with a trumpet blast. It tiptoes in. It barely announces itself. It's not a roar, it's a whisper. Sometimes that whisper is so faint, you're not even sure it's real. It says things like, maybe I could try again. What if I'm not as hopeless as I've been told? Is it possible that I still have something left inside me? And you question it. You question yourself. Because when you've been hurt, disappointed, rejected, or simply exhausted by life, your trust and belief gets fractured. You learn to brace for the letdown before it even arrives. So when that whisper shows up, it's easier to ignore it than to lean in. It feels safer to say, not me, not now, not ever. Because at least then, you're in control of the letdown. But belief, the real kind, isn't loud because it knows it has to sneak past all the walls you've built around your heart. It knows it has to be quiet at first, or you might run from it. It waits patiently for you to notice it, to invite it to stay a little longer. And when you do, when you begin to entertain even the possibility that you're capable of more than you've known, that's when something shifts. The whisper gets a little louder, it becomes a steady murmur, then a rhythm, then a truth. Not because your circumstances have changed overnight, not because you've suddenly become someone else, but because you dared to listen. You dared to believe that something small and unseen might still carry the power to change your life. Belief doesn't require perfection. It doesn't demand confidence. It just asks you to stay open long enough to see what's on the other side of your fear. And maybe that's the bravest thing you'll ever do, not shouting your potential from the rooftops, but choosing to honor the quiet, fragile voice inside you that whispers. There's a certain heaviness that comes with carrying invisible wounds. You smile, you show up, you get things done. But inside, you're still holding the echoes of what you've been through. The disappointments that quietly change the way you hope. The betrayals that made you question your worth. The quiet griefs that have no name, only weight. It's so easy to let those wounds become our identity. To believe the lie that because we've been hurt, we're somehow broken beyond repair. That because we failed, we're destined to keep failing. That because someone couldn't love us well, we must not be worth loving. But here's the truth. Your wounds are part of your story, not the whole story. The story. You are not just the pain you've endured, you are the way you kept going even when no one noticed. You are the strength it took to get out of bed when it felt impossible. You are the quiet courage of healing in private, of rebuilding piece by piece when no one was clapping for you. There is power in pain, yes, but even more power in the way you rise from it. And no, healing isn't neat. It doesn't happen in a straight line. Sometimes you think you've moved on, and then suddenly something small triggers it all over again. That doesn't mean you failed, it means you're human. We don't erase the wounds, we grow around them. Like tree rings around a scar in the bark, we expand, we learn, we become more whole, not in spite of our pain, but through it. And maybe the most important part is this. Your wounds don't make you less worthy. They don't disqualify you from love, joy, or belonging. If anything, they make you more able to hold space for others. They carve deeper wells of empathy in your soul. So let yourself stop apologizing for the things you've survived. Stop shrinking your story to make other people comfortable. You don't have to pretend you've had it easy to be deserving of good things. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. You're allowed to have chapters in your story that are dark and heavy, but they are chapters, not the whole book. And you get to write the rest. Fear has a way of disguising itself as truth. It tells you to turn back, to stay small, to sit down and keep quiet. It says, this is too big for you, or you're not ready, or don't even try, you'll just fail again. And because fear speaks in your own voice, you believe it. You mistake its volume for wisdom. But here's something no one teaches you early enough. Fear isn't your enemy. It's not a red light screaming stop. It's not a locked door. It's not a sign that you're incapable or broken or on the wrong path. Fear is a signal, a flare, a neon-lit message from your nervous system that you are standing at the edge of your comfort zone, and what lies just beyond it is the possibility of something new, something uncertain, something alive. But because your system is trying to protect you from risk, even when that risk holds your next breakthrough. Think about it. When do you feel the most fear? Not when you're doing something easy, not when you're staying the same. You feel fear when you're about to change, when you're about to expand, when you're about to say yes to something that asks more of you than you've ever been asked before. And that's not a stop sign, that's a threshold. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff. Not one where you fall and break, but one where you finally take the leap and realize you can fly a little. Yes, your legs will shake. Yes, your voice may tremble. Yes, fear will shout at you to go back to safety. But if you let fear drive, you will never go anywhere new. When I've done the scariest things in my life, starting over, walking away, speaking up, telling the truth, I wasn't fearless. Fear was terrified, but I did it with the fear. I let it come along for the ride, but I didn't hand it the keys. And you can do that too. Let fear inform you, but not define you. Let it be a companion, not a compass. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're stretching, that you're waking up to a version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. Because that's what growth feels like. Uncertain, shaky. Let fear inform you, but not define it. Let fear inform you, but not define it. Because that's what growth feels like. Uncertain, shaky, uncomfortable, but also honest, expansive, and worth every breath of courage you can gather. You don't have to get rid of fear to move forward. You just have to decide that your desire to grow is greater than your need to stay safe. And the moment you do, something remarkable happens. Fear starts to quiet down. Not because it disappears, but because it realizes you're no longer afraid of being afraid. Afraid is real. And not just because it's something you're wanting to do at the moment, but because it's what you do when you realize you're no longer afraid of being afraid. Perfection is the lie that wears 1,000 masks. It tells you that you have to look a certain way, speak a certain way, succeed in a certain way before you can step into your power. It tells you that if there's any part of you that's uncertain, messy, or unfinished, then you're not ready yet. It convinces you that if people saw the real you, the one behind the smile, the one who still has doubts and fears, they'd turn away. And so we perform, we polish our edges, we delay our dreams, we keep saying, when I'm ready, when I'm better, when I'm more put together. But what if readiness isn't the requirement? What if perfection is not the price of admission to a meaningful life? Let me say this plainly. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Power doesn't come from flawlessness. It doesn't come from having everything figured out. It doesn't come from being bulletproof. It comes from authenticity, from showing up fully as you are, scars, struggles, and all, and still choosing to speak, to act, to love, to lead. Your power is in your presence. It's in the fact that you keep going. It's in the way you stay soft in a hard world. It's in your willingness to grow in public.